Yes, busog naman. Okay, I love the energy here. I think we can kick it up a bit over here, diba? How about you guys over here, the left of the room? You all good? Have you had lunch? Yes, all right, great, because you are going to need all the energy. We have a lot in store for everyone this afternoon. We are very excited to hear from the remaining industry leaders about their company's sustainability efforts. But before we do, we'd like to remind everyone and invite you to check out and visit the booths, the various booths that we have outside featuring our brand partners here with us today. So make sure to visit all of the booths and acquire the stamps, all right? Because when you get your stamps and you completed the tasks, when you present the stamps at the claiming area located by the registration booth, the first 50 persons with complete qualified stamps will receive a sweet treat from Manila Bulletin, okay? So be sure to claim that. How many of you have your stamps already? Have you had a chance to? I'm loving this. Guys, come on. Over here. Anybody? How about over here? Have you gotten your stamps yet? Nako. Uubusin na lahat ng goodies. Oh, so don't miss out on that. You want to get the chance when you head out on outside. Check out the booths. Don't forget. All right. And also, we have QR codes around. I think there's one over here and then some over there by the wall as well. So when you scan those, you get a chance to win gift items from our brand partners as well when you answer the registration form. All right. So don't forget to do that as also. So we have 2 chances for you to get some prizes, and I think we'll be showing off some of them later. Okay, so the winners will be drawn through an electronic raffle. All right, so that's, remember, the QR is the chance to join the raffle. So the winners will be drawn later and will be announced in a while, but you guys still have a chance to participate until the end of the program, because that's when you will be claiming your prizes right after the program this afternoon. All right, so who's ready to hear our next speaker? Thank you. Again, I'm loving the energy from this side of the room. All right, I hope you guys wake up. Baka hindi lang lunch, baka kailangan din natin ng kape. Okay, but without further ado, let's call on our first speaker for this afternoon to talk about the role of financial institutions in sustainability financing. Let's all welcome on stage the Executive Vice President and Head for DBP, the Development and Resiliency Sector of the Development Bank of the Philippines, Mr. George Inocencio.
Good afternoon, magandang hapon. Medyo na-overdress ako, no? Kasi I'm an alumni ng UP. Mga scholar ng bayan dati, mga naka-chinelas ka lang dati, di ba? Kaya lang galing ako Makati, so kaya ganito. So again, good afternoon everyone. I am pleased to present to you DBP's experience and our role as in the financial institutions for climate finance. So it's a great honor to be invited in Manila Bulletin's sustainability focus session. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share with you DBP's role in climate financing. As a development financial institution, DBP aligns with the country's development vision. The bank strives to work beyond generating simple financial returns and commits to serve as a catalyst for sustainable development to balance economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. In our key role of delivering banking and finance services, DBP adheres to environmental and social principles in its operations and business decisions. But before all that, let me give a quick introduction for DBP. We are 100% government-owned, so our primary shareholder is the national government. So this means aligned kami with the national agenda. We've been operating for over 7 decades. Since after World War II, doon nagsimula kasi DBP kasi as the sa RFC yung Rehabilitation Finance Corporation, tapos naging DBP later on. We are the 10th largest bank in the Philippines. With an asset of about at 1 trillion pesos, Also the 10th largest in the industry with about 500 billion of loan portfolio, and 8th largest in the industry in terms of deposit base with about 750 billion. So, but DBP has, we don't do everything, no? Even if we call ourselves a development bank, we try to focus. So we have 4 priority development trusts. The first one is social services. Second is advancing environmental protection. We're a bank for MSMEs, and primarily we are an infrastructure bank. So over the years, DBP has been recognized as a pioneer in sustainability practices in the Philippines. In fact, in 2002, we are the first Philippine bank to receive the ISO 14001 certification for our environmental management system. And over the years, we received Level 2 Philippine Quality Awardee in 2021. And up to now, we continue with our role in being a top sustainability advocate and receiving awards for that. Binibilisan ko yung presentation kasi 15 minutes lang pala eh. So actually ito yung slide before, multiple awards over the years, many of them on sustainability and our role in financing environmentally sustainable ventures. So just a brief flash of our sustainability roadmap for 2024 to 2028. Ang mga main dito would be our commitment on net zero for external operations on lending. So we're committing to net zero by 2040, but focus on the lending operations for power generation. So we're not saying for the whole portfolio. Kasi mahirap i-measure ang GHG for... Actually, ano yan concern ngayon yan, ang hirap bilangin kasi. So to make it easier for us to measure, we're limiting our commitment to net zero emissions in external operations for lending in power generation by 2040. And then the second is net zero emissions for internal operations by 2040. This one is easier because ito lang yung aming mga consumptions, electricity for example, and the fuel spent on the bank vehicles, etc. No? So it's easier to measure, and in fact, I will show later that this is already achieved actually because we have other CSR that actually negates already the emission of DBP for its internal operations. And then third is the doubling of contributions to the UN Sustainable Development Goals by 2040. So most of the programs of DBP are already aligned actually with the United Nations SDGs. But our commitment is to double all of this by 2040. And then finally, on financial inclusion, as a development bank, we strive to get all Filipinos into the financial system. So including farmers, including the lower, the masa, kumbaga, to get them into the banking system. So, teka. Nabura, teka lang ha. So in our role now as a bank, we ask the question because we do lend to enterprises, but the question now is who do we lend to? We can lend to anybody passing the requirement of DBP. So as a financial institution, and especially as a development financial institution, we have a role actually in identifying which firms do we identify. So for DBP, what we did was to set a set of standards to ensure that the enterprises we finance pass the qualifications of DBP and ensuring that they contribute to the environment. So the firms we finance, aside from the 5 C's of credit, we take into account the firm's contribution to the UN SDGs and to support low emission and climate resilient projects. So among these, the drivers of climate financing for DBP, number one is the Philippine National Determined Contribution Targets, which are in turn derived from the Paris Climate Agreement. So ito yung mga commitments natin from the Paris Climate Agreement. Next would be the sustainable UN SDGs, as I mentioned earlier. And finally, internally in DBP, we have the DBP sustainability policies, which over the years we have crafted. So we have this DBP sustainability policies on environmental policy statement, social policy statement, gender and development policy statement, and the sustainability policy statement of DBP. So we'll skip these. By the way, ito, sa Philippine NDC, our commitment is to reduce GHG emissions 75% by 2030. So it's a bit ambitious, but there's a kulatilla there. 72.3% of the 75% is conditional on the availability of foreign financing, while only 2.7% is from the Philippines' own finance resources. And I think for the 2.7, parang na-attain na yata natin ito. So if I'm not mistaken, nasa close to 30% na ba? Sino bang makapag-correct sa akin? Close to 30% na yung ang Philippines in terms of reduction of GHG emission. But we have a long way to go. The country continues to grow and develop, and we continuously need energy, and therefore we continue to emit GHG. So parang yung net emission in effect still continues to grow. So there's a long way to go for the Philippines, but we're getting there. So BSP, the regulator governing banks, also issued Circular 1085 or the Sustainable Finance Framework. This is applicable to all Philippine banks. So this shows the commitment even of the regulator in ensuring that sustainability principles are incorporated in all Philippine banks' corporate governance, risk management, strategic objectives, and operations. So masasabi ko lang, DBP even before the implementation of this Circular 1085, we are already implementing. Hirap ako, may kislap-kislap ah. Skip natin. So on the sustainability policies, in the bank's pursuit of environment protection, we came out in 1997, even before sustainability became a buzzword. We came out in 1997 with the DBP environmental policy, which stipulates DBP's commitment to environmental protection and sustainable development. And then we followed this up with a social policy statement in 2016. To ensure that which integrates and implements social consideration into all aspects of the bank's operations and services. And in 2019, DBP issued the commitment to gender and development. It embodies the principles of inclusiveness, accountability, and partnership. And in 2022, DBP crafted the Sustainability Policy Statement, which outlines DBP's commitments and measures towards all areas of sustainability in consonance with our purpose, vision, and mission. So we move to the financing program of DBP. The breadth and depth of the DBP's mandate as a financial institution places us in a pivotal position to significantly impact the environment through our various development programs. As the country's premier development financial institution, DBP is poised to influence its clients and other stakeholders to adopt sustainable business practices. DBP is committed to sustained increase in the bank's environmental and climate change portfolio with the objective of scaling up positive impacts and addressing negative climate change impacts from its portfolio. So first, we have the FUSE program. It refers to financing utilities for sustainable energy development. It aims to increase access to electricity services through financing of utility-scale energy generation projects such as renewable energy and power transmission and distribution projects to contribute to the achievement of inclusive growth and poverty reduction. It provides long-term financing of up to 15 years, and this matches with the developer's requirements. To date, total renewable energy capacity funded stands at 452.5 megawatts, covering solar, wind, and hydropower technologies. As of July 2024, we have approved projects totaling 83 billion pesos. Next is water. Water, actually acronym din siya, it's Water for Every Resident, contributes to the attainment of the Philippine Water Supply and Sanitation Master Plan 2019 to 2030 and the Philippine Development Plan and the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is to ensure access to water and sanitation for all. This program supports projects on source development, water transmission and distribution, water treatment facilities and equipment, non-revenue water reduction, equipment and tools, climate change and adaptation technologies like, for example, rainwater harvesting. Our total approved project for this program is about 25 billion. Next, I'll highlight the SWIP program, which is the Sustainable Waste Management for Enhanced Environmental Protection. It aims to support the implementation of RA 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000 and RA 6969 or the Toxic Substances and Hazardous and Nuclear Waste Act of 1990. The objective of this program, of this financing program, is to contribute to the development of solid and hazardous waste management facilities and waste-to-energy projects through giving credit assistance to public and private companies in order to help protect the environment and address climate change. Total approved projects is 3.5 billion pesos. And then next is E2Save. It refers to energy efficiency savings financing designed to help public and private institutions improve their productivity by harnessing available new technologies for energy efficiency and projects. Total approved project as of now is 1.9 billion pesos. And finally, we have the Solar Merchant Power Plant and the Linis program. Solar Merchant is about 520 million in approved project, and Linis, which is lending initiative for sanitation, is about 500 million as well. So, green finance, climate finance, not just refer to our lending program. There are also external funding available. So the Green Climate Fund was created under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2010. Its goal is to support developing countries in shifting towards low emission and climate resilient development through concessional loans, grant, guarantee, or equity. It is considered the world's largest fund for the purpose of assisting vulnerable developing countries with climate change adaptation and mitigation activities. DBP was accredited as a GCF direct access entity in 2021, and we received our notice of effectiveness just this August 2024. So since August, we have submitted 2 concept notes already for consideration of GCF. Each GCF project can actually access up to $250 million per project. So this is important. So we keep meeting with potential recipients of this fund. Kasi sayang din, this can be used by LGUs, by private entities, by non-government organizations to access this funding provided by the United Nations. Finally, we have the DBP Forest, which is a corporate social responsibility program. It is an initiative of DBP primarily to protect the country's critical watersheds and coastal areas and at the same time enhance protection of the environment. It has been implemented since 2005. I don't know if some of you may not be alive by that time, pero in early 2000s, merong nagkaroon ng a big typhoon which devastated a large part of Quezon sa may Infanta area. There are many casualties during that typhoon, and DBP saw that the reason is because of the denuded forests of the Sierra Madre. So we initiated this CSR project, and since then, we have supported over 46 forest partners already. We planted over 6,300 hectares and approximately sequestered about 370,000 tons of carbon dioxide. So this is still a continuing program. We continue to get financing for this, and we get proposals from various LGUs and NGOs and SUCs. Like UPLB is actually one recipient of this CSR program. Maybe I can, that's the next one. This one actually is personal testimony. The Siniloan project of the Quezon Land Grant, Laguna Quezon Land Grant, is one of the first recipient of the DBP Forest Program. The forest rangers were saying that before the arrival of DBP in 2008 or 2009, yung area na yan sa Siniloan was grassland as far as the eye can see. And every year, there are cogon fires. No, kasi wala, denuded, the forest has been cut down, and of course the grass took over, and there was cogon fire almost every year. In 2009, DBP came in with and planted native trees for about 400 hectares. And after DBP, other organizations followed, schools and organizations followed and started planting trees in the other areas. When we came back, I visited the area before the pandemic, 2019, and this is what you can see now, the lower left. The trees have actually talagang masikip na yung, you can no longer go inside the forest because it's so thick. And the good thing is, the wildlife which has already been extirpated in the area started coming back. Ayan, so hornbills, which were very endangered bird species. And yung upper left is a photo of the ranger using his cell phone. And the one on the right is my photo in a separate area sa Sierra Madre. So the point here is that in climate financing, even if it's CSR, you will not really know the impact that you have in the environment. So climate financing goes beyond lending to enterprises that affect the environment, but it can go way beyond that. Oops, sorry. So, if financial institutions, in ending, if financial institutions incorporate climate finance and sustainable finance into their business model, firms who are borrowers are encouraged and influenced to adopt climate-friendly and sustainable practices in doing their business. Moreover, consumers will also take part in supporting businesses that are climate conscious and responsible. This cycle and significant change in the system will allow a sustainable flow of resources that will benefit future generation. Climate finance and sustainable finance are more than just buzzwords or emerging products and services in banking. For DBP, it is a call to action to combat climate crisis. So thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Sir Inocencio. Before we let you go, we'd just like to take this opportunity to ask a few questions, if that's all right with you, sir. So I think just the first question. So I think it's very clearly shown how, as a lending facility, the DBP really promote sustainability when selecting those who receive loans. But as far as internally within DBP, we'd like to hear what are some of the other efforts or agendas with regard to ESG and sustainability. What are some of those?
Well, as I mentioned in the presentation, DBP crafted a roadmap that will ensure that sustainability is incorporated in the way we do things. So we are committing to a net zero in lending operations by 2040, net zero in our internal operations also by 2040. We aim to double our UN SDG contribution also by the same time period, and in financial inclusion.
All right. So for our last question, I think we'll circle back since a lot of our participants in the audience are students. How many of you are graduating or about to graduate? Anybody? Okay, wala pa. All right, we have a few over there. Okay, so this might be interesting to you. So for 2025, do you foresee changes or shifts in which industries the DBP will be lending to? Because it might be an interesting career guide for some of our students joining us here this afternoon.
That's right, yes. For DBP, because we follow the government mandate, no, we will continue to finance renewable energy, water, housing, education, health means hospitals, and social services, and the environment. So for careers, actually, I suppose any career, for as long as you have your passion for it, should be okay. No, for DBP, by the way, we have a lot of career opportunities. The bank is expanding. It's a very nagre-recruit na ako, no? So a very stable organization. We're government-owned. Sabi nila kasi government organization, syempre lower ang salary grade niyan, ano. But for DBP, we aim kasi to be at the 75th percentile of the industry. So in the banking industry, our aim is at 75th percentile. Pero ang hidden kasi dyan is the GSIS. So if you stay long enough in government, more than 15 years, the long-term reward, there's a long-term reward, not just because you are serving beyond yung profit motive. Kasi sa government kasi you're working to improve the whole country. So I would encourage you to consider. There's a booth, by the way, outside. You can take a look and register, lalo na yung mga graduating.
All right, so make sure you guys want to take a look at that. And sir, di naman kailangan na mga management or economics majors. Pwede rin yung
Not really.
iba,
No.
no?
In fact, doon sa team namin, meron kami forestry yung course niya.
Oh, all right.
Pero ang kailangan pala civil service. Ayun. So take your civil service exam.
Okay, with that said, thank you very much. Another round of applause, please, for our first speaker. And before we move on to our second, again, we'd like to remind everybody that yes, we have our booths outside, so you want to make sure to check those out and also collect your stamps. And once you complete them, head on over to the registration table so that you can claim some goodies. And we also have our QR codes, so don't forget to scan those and complete the registration form so that you can qualify for the raffle. So that will keep that will be going on throughout the program, so you don't want to miss out on that, okay? So we still have your chances if you haven't done so just yet. All right, so with that, we move on to our second speaker for this afternoon, who will share an in-depth discussion on turning challenges into opportunities in a sustainability journey. So let's all welcome the Vice President for Global Legal Affairs of International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, or ICTSI, Attorney Lorene C. Mora.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm happy to know that Mr. George Inocencio was the one pala after lunch, kasi I thought it's a huge task before me not to talk about the topic but keeping you guys awake because it's after lunch and we're all sleepy. So it's still afternoon, so medyo antok pa tayo. Pakiusap ko lang, kung hihilig kayo, yung mahinhin lang ng bahagya para hindi ako ma-distract. Anyways, I'm Lyrene, as they've said, I'm the Vice President for Global Legal Affairs of ICTSI. So that's International Container Terminal Services Incorporated. I'm pretty sure some of you would think, what's a lawyer doing in sustainability? But let me explain later. So ICTSI is a port operator, a global port operator. Kung si Mr. Inocencio galing sa Makati, galing ako sa The Port. Hindi The Fort ha guys, The Port. So batang pier ito. At katulad ninyo, UP student din ako, way back then. So, I am a UP alumna and happy to be back in my alma mater. So, I'm happy to share with you ICTSI sustainability journey. But first of all, I'd like to introduce what ICTSI is all about. So, ICTSI is a port operator, so hindi kami shipping line. We're not customs. Baka nako-confuse yan, no? So, ICTSI simply moves your cargo at the port. So what we do is we discharge the cargo from the vessel to the berth. So that's stevedoring. And then there's a terminal trailer truck that would go to the yard. And the RTG, yung parang square na ganyan, tapos parang Tetris, yung mga boxes, it would pick up the cargo and put it in the yard. Yan yung arrastre. So in that sense, arrastre operator kami. And then, the broker of the consignee or the cargo owner will pay the import duties and taxes, ganyan. And then, they will be able to book na a terminal appointment bookings through our terminal appointment booking system or tabs sa ICTSI. So parang nagpapa-appointment ka lang sa passport mo sa DFA. So, pag naka-appointment ka na, may gate pass ka na. So, you will enter our automated gate system. So, papakita ng truck drivers ang kanilang face. So, pag napakita na yung face niya, uy, naka-register si kuya. So, yung boom tataas, papasok si external truck, pupunta siya sa yard, dun sa gate pass niya, nandun yung exact na location ng container. So pupunta siya dun sa location ng container, yung RTG, kukunin, kasi alam ng RTG na papunta si Kuya Truck. Okay, at ito yung cargo na dadamputin niya, ilalagay niya dun sa external truck at lalabas na ng yarda. So that's what we do. We're a port operator and a global port operator at that. And proudly, Filipino-owned. So we have presence in 19 countries. We have 32 operating terminals all in all. In 6 continents. Mahirap naman magkaroon ng terminal sa Antarctica, di ba? So, So yan ang ICTSI. And so, how did we even start embarking in this sustainability journey? So, ahead of the SEC Memorandum Circular requiring public listed companies to have a sustainability report, we already wanted to do that. ICTSI is also a publicly listed company. So yung shares namin, nakaregister siya sa Philippine Stock Exchange. So with that regulation impending, and also there are institutional investors who are inquiring, ano ba yung mga sustainability projects nyo? So, 2 years before SEC implemented the SEC memo na, oy, publicly listed company, you need a sustainability report, we already wanted to do that. But it's a huge challenge kasi we don't know what to do about it. Wala pa yung mga standards. Hindi pa nga nire-release ni SEC yung mga standards, yung mga requirements, yung forms. So it's a huge challenge before us. But when we started interviewing the departments in the flagship operations in Manila, we realized na yung department pala ng human resource, meron silang ginagawa for employees. Yung department ng engineering, may ginagawa sila on zero waste management and so forth. So we already knew that, you know, different departments, different groups in the companies are making a difference. And so with that challenge of taking that huge task before us, we saw an opportunity to further make a difference. And so with that in mind, we started with our flagship operations, covering the period of 2017. And it was, the inaugural sustainability report was issued in 2018. So syempre start muna tayo sa flagship, kung saan nagsimula ang lahat. Because ICTSI started in 1988, taking over MICT. So I'm sure, hindi pa kayo naiisip ng mga magulang ninyo nung time na yon. Or baka nag-meet pa lang yung magulang nyo, hindi ko alam. But it was 1988 that MICT started. That's the first coverage of our sustainability report, 2 years ahead of the SEC Memorandum Circular. And then we covered, after a couple of years, the 8 major terminals and then all the organic terminals of ICTSI. So remember, we have 32 terminals in 19 countries. And so, of course, that's quite difficult kasi iba-iba yung legal system, iba-iba yung standards, iba-iba yung rules, iba-iba yung pamamalakad. So, when we say standard on or disclosure on how much percentage yung unionization, iba-iba yung union rights ng bawat isang country, or how many employees have availed of parental leave, for example. Sa Pilipinas, yung paternity leave, counted lang yan pag legal wife mo yung nanganak. Sa ibang bansa, may common law wife. So may mga ganong nuances. And of course, as we expanded more, we also learn more, or we understand more the other terminals within our portfolio. So as we expand more, we understand better. So that's the opportunity that we saw as we expanded the scope of our sustainability report. And of course, as you expand, mas maraming tao yung kinakailangan gumawa niyan. Alam natin yan sa mga group projects, di ba? Kapag malaki yung project, dapat mas malaki yung team, or at least mas effective yung team. Or mas streamline nyo yung mga delegation of work within the team. And so, when we started with MICT, so nag-start siya with the department heads, and then eventually, we called it Sustainability Technical Working Group. So department heads of the flagship operations reporting to our CFO and EVP. And then we launched it already, as I've mentioned, di ba, nag-expand kami to the 8 major terminals. So we launched it in our CFO conference. And so, naging part na rin yung CFO ng team. Eventually, it evolved as an ESG reporting team composed of investor relations, legal, and public relations, because we understood that it's not enough that you know what to disclose. You need to know how you will tell the story, how the data will be understood more clearly, how is the human aspect be absorbed by your readers. And so importante yung project and content management at the same time. And eventually, it became a global sustainability team where we have global sustainability champions. So, meron tayong global sustainability champion sa environment. May global sustainability champion tayo for human capital. May global sustainability champion tayo for social works, for example. So, depende sa area, merong champion. Because in ICTSI, we believe that sustainability should not just be managed by one department. It should be part, and as it is now part, of our day-to-day tasks. So sustainability has always been embedded in ICTSI's DNA. And so, as we faced the challenge of more work, it developed teamwork in ICTSI. And of course, we now know that we have, sabi nga ng first speaker natin kanina, mga UN SDGs, mga net zero commitment of our country. So, syempre yung mga goals natin nag-i-improve, nagle-level up. And this should be a tone from the top. And so, the global sustainability team is now reporting to the Chief Sustainability Officer. And the Chief Sustainability Officer is reporting to a board-level committee called Environmental, Social, and Governance Committee of ICTSI, headed by no less than the retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Diosdado Peralta. And the team oversees project management, content, and the lead global champions, they manage all the facets of sustainability, of economy, environment, social, and governance. So, isa siyang malaking production number for ICTSI. At lahat kami working towards a common sustainability initiatives as directed by the leaders of the company. And so, again, as the sustainability initiatives have leveled up, so the leaders have in fact stepped up. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, well, I am a graduate of UP, a lawyer by profession. In fact, I head the global legal team, and I would admit that at the start, I really didn't have any idea what sustainability is all about. And so, we know that we needed experts to collaborate with. We needed experts on the changing regulations, experts on content, on visuals, on design, to better communicate our sustainability stories. And so here are some of the experts that we have engaged in ICTSI. And being a philosophy major in this university, my philosophy professors will hate me if I don't quote anything from our philosophers. And so the true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing, by Socrates. So basically, that's the opportunity that we were able to discover and embrace when we were faced with this particular challenge. And as I've mentioned, our operation spans 19 countries and 32 terminals. Iba-iba pa yung time zone niyan. Yung tipong gising tayo, sila naman tulog. Tapos, talaga namang nasa dreamland ka, sila naman yung nag-i-email sa'yo. How is the standards, etc., etc. And so, we really needed platforms and tools to better collect data. Because the sustainability report for publicly listed companies are submitted along with the 17A, yung SEC 17A, to be submitted in the Securities and Exchange Commission and PSE, of course. So for ICTSI, we submit this mga second or third day of March. Ang coverage niya, just imagine, January and December, to December, the previous year. So, the horror of it all, right? Because kukuhanin mo from 32 terminals, yung stories nila, from all the organic terminals, yung data nila, at hindi simple ang mga sustainability standards, be it GRI or yung mga much later, which I will discuss in the slides after this. Yung mga standards and regulations are really very technical in nature. And so, we had to have these digital tools, which I'm proudly sharing right now, that was developed in-house without additional cost to ICTSI. But I will not take credit for it. It's the millennials and Gen Z members of the organization who actually created all these digital tools. So meron kaming virtual data room for GRI worksheets kasi yun yung standard na una namin ginamit. Meron din kaming terminal GRI initiatives and stories because we want to get the stories from various terminals. Of course, nandun din yung overview on UN SDGs, photos that they want to feature alongside their stories, linked to previous sustainability reports, and of course, we do provide access, modified access to various people within the organization. Kasi malaki nga yung company, no? And so, with this overwhelming challenge of data collection, we were forced to adopt and embrace our lifeline, which is technology. And as I've mentioned, over time, change will forever be there. And so we have new regulations. And so SEC, for example, will soon issue the SURE form, no, yung sustainability reporting form, which basically captures and consolidates climate-related risks, opportunities, and metrics. We are expecting that to be released by next year, covering 2025 to be submitted in 2026. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, being an opportunity, for ICTSI, one of our terminals in Europe passed the criteria for the ESRS, or the European Sustainability Reporting Standards. And so now, ICTSI as a group needs to comply with ESRS. And that is really being ahead of the game. And so we believe that, with these changes, we needed to adopt and we needed to evolve. And to evolve is to progress. And that is the opportunity that we saw in this ever-changing regulations in sustainability. And so just to recap, our sustainability journey started in 2017. And over the years, we have seen that, taking on the challenge and making a difference. In scope, we have expanded more, and by that, we understood our terminals better. Of course, there were more work over the years, but it developed more teamwork. As we leveled up our sustainability initiatives, we saw our leaders step up. We understand for ourselves that that true wisdom is by knowing nothing, actually, and being able to tap other resources, and that we need to embrace technology, and over the years, we needed to evolve to progress. And finally, on a personal note, so 17 years ago, when I joined ICTSI, based on market cap, it was only $14 billion company, but right now, it's 14. Previously, it's $4 billion company in terms of market cap. Right now, it's $14 billion company. And over the years, what we've seen is that in its business operations, it continued to protect the environment. So for example, it has hybrid RTGs in its operations. We use solar panels. We also recycle water in our wash base as we wash our equipment. We also use LED light for our terminals rather than the regular light. Over the course of these years, I've seen that we keep on improving our performance and service to our customers. For example, by having digital tools like track and trace, and soon being able to track your cargo not only within the terminal, but even as it goes out the terminal. Over the years, I've seen ICTSI contribute to the local communities where it is located. For example, when I was in PNG and I was negotiating our 2 concession agreements there for 2 terminals, we saw that safety and security was a concern. And so when ICTSI came in as the foreign investor in that company, ICTSI constructed police stations, donated police cars. It also constructed schoolrooms, gave out school bags with school materials, and more importantly, in a country where women were not really given that much importance, PNG women were able to go to Manila and train as equipment operator. And they went back to PNG as the first female operators of mobile harbor cranes in their country. And by that, the local community realized that women can be valuable contributors, not only in their families, but in the local communities as well. Over the years, I've seen ICTSI take very good care of its employees. It was very apparent during COVID-19, where ICTSI negotiated Moderna vaccines, and along with Bloomberry, constructed the mega vaccine site where we were able to inoculate thousands and thousands of Filipinos. So not only ICTSI employees and their dependents, but the entire private sector, so that our national economy will really not be or cushion the blow of the negative impact of COVID-19. And so, on a personal note, this is what I have seen over the past 17 years that I've been with ICTSI. And being a graduate of this university and having been a product of many scholarship, just so I can continue to study and be able to achieve my dream to become a lawyer, I thought before that I needed to be in public service or be part of an NGO to be able to give back. But I realized that there are companies like ICTSI which are able to make ripples of change, not only within their company for their employees, but also to the local communities where they have presence, to the countries where they are located, but as in ICTSI's case, globally. And so I am grateful to be part of an organization which aims to make the ports worldwide drivers of positive change and sustainable growth. And with that, I hope that you are also able to be inspired by ICTSI's journey. Magandang hapon po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mora. If I can have you just for a few questions. So, I think you made it very, very clear that you operate globally, worldwide, and I can only imagine the difficulty it must have been in aligning and coming up with a standard sustainability program. Could you perhaps share with the students here what were some of your takeaways or best practices that were actually learned in that exercise?
Well, first of all, I think in ICTSI, which is kind of unique, is that we are all hands. So there is no one department which handles sustainability. We make sure that everyone participates, that everyone does his or her part. As Geeth have said, if we sweep in front of our own doors, the whole world will be clean. And so even if sustainability has ever-changing regulations, I think we'll be able to accomplish those once everyone will cooperate, collaborate, and trust in each other's dedication to do his and her part.
There we go. Okay, so thank you. Last question. So, as you mentioned also, the regulations are ever changing. It's always advancing, and even in your operations in Europe, for example. So now that they've gotten the European standard, it's now the difficulty or the journey of having to adopt that. So as far as the context here in the Philippines, how has that been? Has that been a challenge? Has it been a smooth ride? Maybe you could share that experience with us.
Well, definitely it's a challenge. It's not always a smooth ride. But I think that ride is what makes you grow, evolve, and adapt. So I think because we are forced to comply with higher standards, we are well ahead of the game locally. And I think that also enables us to show and exhibit ICTSI in a global platform much better. Again, this is a proudly Filipino-owned company, and being at par with other global companies is really something we need to be proud of, and that we are proud of in ICTSI.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please, for Ms. Mora from ICTSI. Thank you very much, ma'am. All right. So, before we move on to our third speaker for this afternoon, I will be announcing some of our lucky raffle winners. Okay, so if you will notice here, diba? My mic keeps going off. All right. Diba? Ganda. So, I'm changing mics. So this is our lucky raffle winners will be taking home. I was lucky enough to get one last year also during the Sustainability Forum 2023. And I still use it. So matibay siya. O, diba? Sustainable nga. Okay. So who are our lucky 12 winners taking home the tote bag? So congratulations to Anne Paula Presbitero, Misty Frisia, Aliyah Shamel Chavez, Zoe Monique Soliva, Joyce Cathrel Peñas, Maria Veronica Aguba, Lorraine Quijano, Janine Mendoza, Isaiah Sosa, Kenneth Esquelto, Eriza Beatriz Romero, and Chini Angela Oplas. All right, so congratulations once again to our 12 lucky tote bag winners. Please feel free to claim your prize outside at the registration booth after the program, all right? I know you're excited, but don't go rushing out just yet. But remember, the QR codes are still up, so if you want to get your chance to be one of the lucky winners to take home a wonderful tote bag, I'm an endorser. I can vouch for this. It's great. All right. So we also have 2 lucky winners of Watson's packages. All right. So thank you very much to Watson's for that. Our first winner is Edmark Riza. Is Edmark here? All right. And then the next one we have is Kyle Uri Gabriel Lu. So congratulations to our 2 lucky winners, Edmark and Kyle. You are taking home our Watson's packages. Okay, so I'm assuming mga skincare, mga iba-ibang soap. So ayun, sakto, may pangligo mamaya. All right, sustainable din yan. Okay, so we now move on to our next speaker for this afternoon. So we would like to welcome, here we go. Okay, so let's welcome our next speaker. Her topic is entitled Build for Tomorrow, Shaping the Future of Construction Through Sustainability. And sharing with us this presentation is Wilcon Depot Senior Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Rosemary Bosch Ong. Let's give her a round of applause.
A great afternoon to all of you. I'll be discussing the role of construction and how we can help build tomorrow with the topic of shaping the future of construction through sustainability. It really feels good to be in the presence of future of the country, you know, students, mostly students, no, and coming from, you know, following the first speaker, it's really very challenging for me because our market cap, by the way, is just a fraction of what you mentioned earlier. We're newly listed. We're also a listed company, so we just listed, I think, 7 years ago, and may danger pa na we might be out of the, you know, of the index because our stock is not as, you know, I'm sure not only in the Philippines but everywhere, no. So it's really been a challenge coming from the pandemic, no. But as I've mentioned, it feels good to be in a company of the future of the country. Next slide. Okay, why dapat totoo? Medyo balikan natin what happened this year, no. So usually at Wilcon, it's been our tradition to start the year with the RARA, with the battle cry. And our battle cry for this year is Dapat Totoo, which highlights our commitment to integrity, centering on the 5 Ps, no, which are people, process, profit, and of course, planet. Very much, you know, relatable to our topic today. I'll be discussing more how we can, you know, be sustainable, especially if we apply integrity to our planet, no? You know, in construction, I'm sure you know that we are the #1 contributors to, you know, to the carbon footprint, no? So integrity does not only apply to human. Basically, it also applies to how we take care and how we take care of our planet and how we build a relationship with the planet. After all, we only have one Earth, right? So we must act responsibly to reduce our environment footprint. I usually start my talk with a quote or something very encouraging, no? But today, as we talk about sustainability, I'll be giving you a not so good truth, no? When it comes to sustainability, the future, it says that the future of the planet is bleak, no? Meaning, we have to take action because we have to take action because time is rapidly diminishing, no? So, securing a sustainable future is no longer just a must-have idea. As I've mentioned, it has become imperative because we at Wilcon, sustainability is not just a buzzword, no? Medyo parang Wilcon Scholar speaks for it, di ba? And even before it has become a buzz, no, we've been already, you know, advocating sustainability through the eco-friendly products that we offer in the store. By the way, I'm sure most of you are familiar with our company. We are a retail construction company that offers products and services, no, related to home building and home improvement. So just to give you some data, no, according to the United Nations Environment Program of 2021 Global Status Report, building operations and construction generated 13.1 gigatons or 38% of the global energy-related carbon dioxide emissions. As I've mentioned, I'm in the industry wherein we are the #1 contributor to the carbon footprint, no? I mean to green emissions and all this, no? Though it was reported that in 2020, it dropped by 10%. Obviously, because you know what happened in 2020, COVID-19 came. So there's less activity, not just in the economy, but basically in construction. No? I guess we were the hardest hit. No? When you talk about hard construction, the hard lines were the hardest hit, like, because most of the workers cannot come to work. And construction was put on a halt, no, except for, home improvement, like soft renovations or soft home improvement activities, no, because everybody were locked in their homes. I guess 2021, 2022 was the banner year for home improvement for retail, no, because people centered their attention in improving, reconfiguring their spaces, no. Siyempre, all of us, di ba, we thought of work from home, gym from home, study from home, and then, it has become the center of economy, also of commerce, no, because suddenly, biglang nagkaroon ng mga instant entrepreneurs, no, people would be cooking and selling food, no, from in the comfort of their homes. So there's a lot of reconfiguration and changes or improvements that we did in our home, no. I always ask nga every time there's a talk, no, how many times did we touch our doorknob during the pandemic in 2020, 2021? Because most of the time, especially even students and even us working people, no, we spend less time in the home. We spend more time in the office, doing leisure time outside, eating in restaurants, no. But as I've mentioned, there's less activity during 2020 for hard construction, no. So we know that Philippines is a rapidly growing in terms of population and of course advancing in economy as well, no. So this means that that the need for infrastructure and building will grow definitely because it calls for us to further embrace sustainability, no. So as I've mentioned, our industry is responsible to whatever environmental impact we may bring alongside the goal to improve the quality of life and of our communities, no? So we have no choice but to practice it, else we will soon face the consequences, which is, harming our planet, no? So keep in mind that we should be responsible for all of this, no? So I'll be sharing with you the trends, no, in construction, the sustainable trends in construction, and how we apply it in our company and how we can relate about it, no. So let me share with you the first trend, no. Let's talk about renewable energy. So number one, renewable energy. So the use of renewable energy in buildings is about integrating sustainable energy sources such as solar, wind, geothermal, and biomass, no, into the full building cycle. Nag-spark. Into the full building cycle of design, construction, operation, and of course, maintenance of the building, no, to reduce its dependency or maintain its dependency on fossil fuels, no. So solar energy, I would say, is the most promising renewable energy sources in the Philippines because we have, we have abundant exposure to the sun. I think mas maraming yung sun sa atin, di ba? It makes the country build a larger potential for harnessing solar energy. So at Wilcon Depot, by the way, as I mentioned, no, we are operating, our physical footprint is all over the Philippines. No? So right now we have 98 stores and we will be hitting 100 stores before the year end. No? So of the 98 stores, I would say that 51% of the buildings or the store buildings that we have are equipped with solar panels. Meaning, we rely on renewable energy, because as I mentioned, we're the number one contributors to the carbon footprint with the air conditioning. Most of our stores are well air conditioned, so aside from solar panel, we also have HVLS. If you've been to the store, we have high volume, low ceiling fans, no? That helps us reduce the use of air conditioning. So let's say we have 20 air conditioning units in the store, we would operate only half of it and alternate half, in the middle of the day because of the help of the HVLS. So as I've mentioned, 51% or 51 or more than 50% of our stores are they have solar panels installed, no. So we believe that utilizing solar energy, the HVLS I've mentioned, no, is an excellent investment in helping us reduce, no. So we're not only helping the environment, but basically we're being cost efficient also because we are able to reduce our use of power, no. So instead of it going to the grid, we use renewable energy. Okay. With the help of technology also, we use other products, no? For example, we have the Alpha Lux portable solar floodlights and LED portable solar lights, no? These are excellent examples of how we use technology and solar panel as well that will contribute to environmental sustainability, no? So these are all available in our stores, no? So instead of relying on power or electricity, we have this, no, for most of the exterior of our stores. And aside from that also, we have we sell also Alpha Lux LED products, no, that can be used in the interior of their homes. Next, let's go to the second trend, which is circular economy. So the circular economy is about minimizing waste and maximizing resource efficiency, no? So it's a modern way of producing and using things sustainably. In this model, both business and consumers make the most of resources or cut down on resources. When you talk about circular economy, I'm sure you're familiar with the three R's, no? Reduce, reuse, and recycle. So less exploitation of natural sources, less waste generation, and less waste going to landfill. So how do we apply it at Wilcon? We sell, basically because we're a trading company, no? We sell products that, we choose and sell products that use recycled materials, no? Because if you sell products that use recyclable materials, no, it reduces the waste and the demand of new resources, no. So one example is the recycled glass mosaic tiles that we offer in the store. 95% of the glass used in these mosaic tiles, no, this can be used for, let's say, wall panels or, decorative panels. Aesthetically, it's very appealing, no? So it uses 95% of recycled glass, and it's very durable and, of course, slip resistant, no? We also use environmental friendly products like Novabel, the tiles that we sell coming from Italy, no, it used 40% recycled material as well, no. So the processing of this item followed an integral approach, no, wherein it combines reused products or materials which are in order to reduce waste, no, and of course energy conservation as well. Finally, also, we have this type of product that we sell in the stores, no? It offers 98% also of recycled glass, no? So meaning, instead of putting it in the landfill or, putting it into waste, no? So we try to carefully choose products that can be reused and recycled, no? So that's part of the number 2 trends in construction. The third trend in construction is about water conservation practices, no? So water conservation implies practices and technologies to save or store water at every possible opportunity, no? So like the Philippines, di ba, we experience heavy rains, no? So instead of it going to the ground, no, what we do at Wilcon is that we collect rainwater that we use, that we use for, let's say, flashing, instead of throwing it, no? So actually, the use of low plumbing fixtures as well is being applied in our company, such as, for example, the toilets, no? Instead of the regular basic 12-liter flush, no, we have the 3 and the 4-liter flush. So meaning the 3-liter flush is for urine and the other one is for the solid waste, no? So basically, our company, Wilcon Depot, has been there, water conservation construction practices, no? So this is talking about gray water system, wherein you recycle water from the sink to the sink, shower, and the kitchen faucets, and use it for toilet flushing. And then rainwater harvesting, wherein you try to filter it and then store it and use it for other purpose. And of course, as I've mentioned, no, the low-flow plumbing fixtures, no, using water-saving plumbing fixtures, the 3 and the 4-liter system plumbing fixtures, no. So our company has been practicing this, no, water conservation initiatives, no. So in order for us to maintain commitment to our conscious effort. Okay, so next is the bathroom. Let's talk about the bathroom because basically tiles and plumbing is our core, no? 50% of the revenue that we generate comes from these hard products, no? Which is plumbing and sanitary, no? So yeah, basically this is our house brand, no? So Wilcon has private label brands. One of our strengths is that we develop private label brands wherein we put a name, we market it, no, and we put a personality to it, which is at par with national brands, no. So the counterpart of Posey with national brands, if you're familiar with high-end brands, Grohe and Kohler, no. So we're very proud with our Posey because we have sanitary wares or sanitary products that are sensor or smart, no. So you don't need to use too much water into it, no. Basically, it flashes on its own, no. So, and then Grohe, we are the exclusive distributor of Grohe. It's a top-tier brand of sanitary and plumbing. If you've been to, let's say, 5-star, 6-star hotels, no, you would see a Grohe fixtures in every 6-star and 5-star hotel, no. So this type of product uses less water because of the water-saving features that it has, no, like the smart faucets or sensor type faucets, no. Next, please. So lastly, these are our other products, no, Cefa and Berka, no. So why am I guiding you this, no? Definitely when you graduate, very basic aspiration of any of us, no, when we finish school, of course, it's a new beginning for you to build your career. And then, of course, definitely you will aspire to have your own space or to have your own place, no, especially for the early lesser. So as early as now, I'm educating you or I'm giving you information about what type of product to choose for us to be sustainable, no. Next would be the green buildings, okay. Incorporating eco-friendly materials or energy-efficient design and waste reduction has become the norms, no, in green building. Although in the Philippines, I think most of the LEED or the LEED certified buildings can be found in Makati, no, but not so much yet in areas like Quezon City, no, where we are now, no. So I just want to share with you some inspiration, no. Recently, I was in Singapore and was able to see some of these sites, no, because I've attended the World Architecture Festival, no. So this is a competition of international, designers and architects and designers and architects wherein they would enter their future products and existing future projects and existing projects. No, so just to give you an example, this is the Capital Spring Tower of Singapore. No, so it uses advanced technologies such as double skin facade, which allows natural ventilation. So can you imagine? This is the building, and then there's a facade. It allows the flow of wind and wind energy. No, so it reduces the use of air condition, and it features rainwater harvesting as well. No, so another building. This one naman is in Taipei. This is Taipei 101 building. The next one. Okay. Okay. The second one is from India. No, it also is a LEED certified or LEED Platinum certified building. No, because it has zero net energy building, wherein 80% of the power comes from wind and 20% comes from solar. No, so basically they don't use power or electricity. No. Next, I don't know if I have the photo of Taipei 101. Taipei 101. So anyway, the other building that I was about to mention is Taipei 101 building, because it saves water by recycling rainwater for irrigation and toilets as well. No, so basically that building, that very famous, it's a very tall building. In fact, it's one of the tallest building in the world. Used to be number one before the one in Saudi Arabia came about. No, so these are some of the inspirations, and then I want to share also the other products that we offer, like for example P-Tech. No, these are made of sustainable materials or reused materials. No, so it's used for the facade. If you're familiar with the fluted, facade panels. No, and also we have the Ruby tile cutter. It's a manual, it's a manual. Tile cutter. It operates manually, no, without the need for electricity, and it's very efficient. It's an eco-friendly tile cutter, no, that eliminate the generation of dust. So it does not contribute to dust because of its efficiency, no, in cutting. So basically, why am I telling you this, no? So when you're building or when you're doing, of course, your dream of improving, renovating, or making your space better, you have to choose the right partner. No, so aside from the ones that I've shown to you, many of our products conform to sustainable, practices. No, so basically, if you've been to the store, you will see this. This label, no, sustainable choice products that will help you, that will guide you, in choosing eco-friendly products or sustainable products that you will choose, when you're building, when you're doing home improvement. So basically, this provides you the information about how sustainable these products are. No, so. We believe that as a home improvement company, we have a responsibility to help the customers choose the right product and choose the right partner. So basically, sustainability starts with all of us. We never stop in our company. We never stop in introducing sustainable products. Recently, aside from the products that we sell, we've also introduced, because I'm also the chairperson of the Philippine Retailers Association. No? It's the biggest retail association in the country, wherein we have all the top retailers, as part of the organization, including the top malls. All these top malls are part of the board. No? So we've introduced this BYOD, Bring Your Own Bag. I'm sure in other countries, especially in first world countries, they're already practicing this. So instead of using using plastic, you have to bring your own bag, because as I mentioned, sustainability starts with all of us. So we have this campaign wherein we give loyalty points. Let's say you're a loyalty member of Wilcon. When you bring your own bag, you get extra point for bringing the bag, and if you buy the bag from us, you get another extra point. No? So basically, this is more of encouraging you to practice sustainable, practices that will help us reduce the use of plastic. And of course, it reflects our dedication to environmental stewardship. No? So there, it's very nice looking. No? So as I mentioned, the foundation of a greener future is built on the power of our daily choices. No? Because we at Wilcon continue to lead by example. Recently, we secured for the second time now, we secured the Sustainability Category Award at the Outstanding Filipino Retailers or OFR Awards. No? So as I mentioned, this is the second time for 2 consecutive years we won this award. No? Basically because of the practices, not just in promoting, eco-friendly products, but basically also in our practices also in the store. I did mention also that when you go to any Wilcon store, you would see that we have lifters and forklifts that are battery or EV operated. No, they don't use diesel or fossil fuels anymore, but basically they're all electric operated. No, so. One of those is also, as I mentioned, the HVLS and also the different other sustainable practices that we do, wherein we also help managing the waste, instead of throwing it in the landfill. And it's a requirement for all retailers, basically not just retailers but us in construction, as I've mentioned, is the #1 contributor to the carbon footprint. So hand in hand, let's all shape our future together. So let's build a greener future together. So thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ong. Before you go, if I could ask you a few questions. Thank you very much for sharing with us, particularly, as a retail company as well, the impact on the products that you've been making available on the sustainability front. But from operationally, particularly on the supply chain, how has technology improved the situation and turned sustainability into a more potent reality?
So, from the product that we offer, basically, now I mentioned about the smart toilets, the smart, faucets as well. No, so with the help of technology, also we're able to offer this kind of products. These are not just trendy products, but basically they're all useful products for the market. No, and it boils down to also supply and demand. If we have bigger scale now, if more people would, if more Filipinos who are building, improving, or renovating their spaces would buy more of these eco-friendly products, they'll be affordable to the market. So for now, kasi we have this smart products, diba?
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard about the smart homes, and sometimes people, they're kind of intimidated because it's pricey. So as I mentioned, if more Filipinos, if more of us would patronize or would try to use this eco-friendly products, it will become very affordable for all of us. And we're looking at really a brighter Philippines, wherein our Philippines would be another smart country, just like, the smart countries outside,
Thank you. Last question, I think connected to what you mentioned also. So, of course, at the end of the day, the best way to check adoption, right, is if the consumers are actually shelling out money or buying sustainable products as well. So has this been growing? Because of course the assortment that you offer at the stores is quite wide, but from a consumer standpoint, are more consumers already leaning towards sustainable products? And if not, what else can we do further to enforce or promote buying and supporting sustainable products?
Well, I think it started during the pandemic, thanks to COVID-19. I really steer awareness to everyone. Not just the regular, not just those Filipinos that are very much exposed outside, those who travel, di ba? I mean,
Yes.
all these things, di ba, we're quite a step behind, no? Few steps behind, first world countries, no? But because of COVID-19, I guess people had become conscious, they become aware of how important, sustainable practices. Because when you talk about sustainability, as I've mentioned, it's not just about taking care of the planet. It's also centering on the different, like people, how to, the practices that we do, how to be sustainable. And us as a company, we're a 47-year-old company already, Kasi 40 years ako sa Wilcon. Naisip ko, I'm not a founder, but So, 47-year-old company, So, how can we be sustainable? How can we be, relevant to the next generation of, of Wilconians, diba? So, I guess because of COVID-19, people have become more aware of health. They become more aware of taking care of the planet because it encompasses everything. No, we're all part of this ecosystem.
Yes.
Diba? So, yes, I agree with you. People are becoming more aware, as I've mentioned. It's just that they feel parang intimidated with the pricing of these eco-friendly products. But as I've mentioned, if we have the scale already, if more people, like, simple things like, instead of, like for example, wood, instead of the hardwood, diba, there are planted species, so might as well buy the planted species, right? And then, the BYOD. For us retailers, I think it's a big move talaga to encourage everyone to bring your own bag. Kasi let's get away with using plastic, no? Because some cities, diba, they impose rules wherein plastic is not allowed, no? I mean, yung mga biodegradable plastics only. And then instead of plastics, replace it with paper. So how many trees do we cut?
Yes.
When we use paper, right? So I think we have to be more, aware, not just aware, but basically we put it into practice, no? So let's walk the talk, no? Like for us, simple things, bring your own bag when you shop, diba? And then yung mga, it's not that I'm advocate, because I'm a retailer, no? So diba yung mga disposable, they say yung mga fast fashion.
Yes.
Kasi it's affordable. Like me, I always say, never sacrifice quality over price. For example, the tiles that you choose. Okay, this store A sells, cheaper brand of tiles. While at Wilcon, it's more quality, it's really more, the durability, no? So, how much would it cost you, let's say, if the tile that you bought at a cheaper price will only last for, let's say, 5 years or less than 5 years. So how much will it cost you to renovate again? With inflation, di ba?
Right. Exactly,
so,
yeah.
Basically, you have to be more practical and you have to be more discerning when you do this kind of activities, home improvement, construction and renovation, di ba? So you always look at you always have to look far, di ba? Yung site mo dapat malayo talaga, di ba? So basically, how much will it cost you again if you renovate, whereas, diba, even as I mentioned, the clothes that we wear, it's fast fashion. Doon tayo sa Filipino-made kasi it's not, hindi siya imported. It reduces the carbon footprint kasi hindi siya in-import, hindi siya nag-travel. But of course, it will not give much business to ICTSI because ICTSI, no. But what I'm saying is, basic things that we can do, no, to be sustainable and help, Mother Nature and to help build a better future for the Philippines.
All right. And there you have it. Thank you very much, Ms. Ong from Welcome Depot. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Okay. So to keep things rolling, for our final guest speakers for this afternoon, they are from a company who aims to reduce its environmental footprint and have a positive, lasting impact on people and communities as they continue to grow. So here with us this afternoon to discuss sustainable snacking is Mondelez Philippines Incorporated Managing Director Ms. Aleli Arcilia and the PCX Commercial Director Mr. Rudy Ramin. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So,
Hello.
we're doing a kind of informal chat on sustainability. I'm Rudy Ramin, the commercial director of PCX. So PCX Markets, we are actually originated from the Philippines, founded by Nanette Medvedpo, with the goal of reducing plastic going into nature. We are now a global company. Our CEO is in the US. I'm actually based in Singapore. We have people in Indonesia, Argentina, and the Philippines, of course. And I'm proud to share the stage with the managing director of Mondelez Philippines, but also the Asian CEO Woman Leader of the Year, Aleli
Thank you.
Arcilia.
Thank you very much. And I would like to introduce myself. So I'm sharing the stage with Rudy today. I'm Aleli from Mondelez. We're a snacking company, as what has been introduced earlier. And this is our office, not the background. And we're based in Sucat. We're a company of brands, which I think you will be more familiar with, like Oreo, Cadbury, Cheese Whiz, Tang, Eden. We also have Toblerone in our portfolio.
Mga favorite ko, Aleli.
Of course. Oo, ako rin eh. But, so, wala eh. But it's a struggle to really, I think, keep fit, no, in the working for this company. But it can be done. Okay?
Yes.
As
So-
in other things.
Exactly. No, fun fact, I actually worked in Mondelez for, I think, three and a half years, 10 years ago, right, based in Singapore. We're going to be talking about one aspect of sustainability, which is about plastic, right? We all know there was conversations about the reduction of plastic pollution, plastic waste. Actually, not to be proud of, but the Philippines as a country is the third biggest contributor of ocean plastic, unfortunately. But we as a country in the Philippines is also have legislated one of the most rigorous extended producer responsibility laws. And I think it's great that we have Aleli here from Mondelez, because I think we could understand what EPR means for Mondelez and what they are doing about it. So Aleli, can you share a bit about Mondelez's approach?
Okay, so it has been part of our global strategy to have a sustainability pillar, in terms of our approach. And particularly in the Philippines, because we know we're in a food manufacturing business, it's very important to identify where we could make the biggest impact in terms of sustainability. And we chose plastic.
Yeah.
Because we deliver our products and goods through plastic.
That's true. Yeah.
Is what it's known. Okay, so
Correct.
that's the hard truth. And the schemes, the EPR across the globe. So EPR is not just in the Philippines. So there's also other EPR approaches or EPR regulations that are present in other countries. And Mondelez International globally supports that.
Yes.
Because we've seen-
35 countries now have
Correct.
EPR.
So we have actually seen that it is also economically viable. So it's not just giving us fees or trying to penalize those who aren't participating, but we also see that these schemes, particularly the Philippines one, and I think that's one of the gold standards in EPR. Because part of the EPR fees that we pay for actually is including already sorting, collecting, recycling, upcycling. So it's all in there. It's very comprehensive.
End to end, exactly.
End to end. And that's why I think Mondelez is a company. And for us, in our plastic sustainability pledge, we do three things. So number one is recycling, Okay, so making sure that all of our products, or sorry, our packaging is actually can be recycled. So we're at the 96% of the packaging we use is now recyclable.
So recyclability is a key
It's
element.
a key element. The second one is, of course, the reduction or evolving our packaging, meaning we also use recycled content to use our packaging in our packaging. And then the third is improving systems. And this improving systems support is symbiotic to the EPR law, which means we support the infrastructure, we support policies, so that we can participate in saving the environment.
It's really laudable because I think just for the perspective of everyone, the extended producer responsibility law, the principle is the polluter pays principle, which is in the past, if you think about products that sell products with plastic packaging, they are not responsible for its collection or recovery. So it's left to the government to actually collect our plastic waste. But then because of the recognition that plastic, if left untreated and uncollected, brings about environmental issues, potential health issues, and even livelihood issues. Because if it goes to the ocean, and especially the Philippines is an archipelagic country, fisheries can be affected. So the government of the Philippines, and not just the government of the Philippines, but globally, there is recognition that EPR, that companies like Mondelez, Unilever, even retailers, actually take responsibility of your plastic.
That's the name, no? Extended producer responsibility. So we're not just tagged as pollutants,
Correct.
but we're a responsible producer. And by supporting the EPR law, we're pledging partnership with the government also and the institutions that support that.
Is this something that is really part of the advocacy of Mondelez Philippines?
Oh, definitely, Rudy. So, like I mentioned earlier, we deliver our products through plastic. Okay, so that's a given fact. Because also, I think, number one, it gives the highest quality. Okay, it extends the shelf life also, and then it makes sure that the integrity of the product that you eat inside is actually protected.
Correct.
Okay,
and the weight, right? I think if you think about carbon, and we were talking about logistics, you have to think about end to end. And the weight of a plastic is actually
lighter. So if we consider other alternative packaging like paper or glass, then the impact is actually in deforestation. And I think Ms. Rosemary already touched on that earlier. You cut down trees if you do paper, right? So
That's
it's the same thing. If you do plastic, it's the processing of glass pala. It's the processing of glass that takes a lot of carbon emissions. Heat. So there are pros and cons. That's why this EPR law is extending the responsibility to us producers already. Because before, admittedly, wala naman tayong pakialam how we collect it eh.
Correct.
Basta there's basurero that will come, they will collect it for you, di ba? So parang ganun lang yun. So for now, it's us. It's part of our pillar. So like I said, it's recyclability, it's evolving packaging, and then improving the systems. That's our approach in Mondelez.
Yeah. And I think the sad reality in the Philippines, not just, but most developing countries, is that formal collection rates are actually at 50%. Can you imagine in the whole Philippines, only 54% of waste is actually formally collected. So you can imagine maybe in your subdivisions where we live, there's always a weekly or every other day collection, but that doesn't happen across the country.
There's plastic waste every day, no? And then you can imagine it only gets collected once a week.
Yes.
What happens? So I can imagine what you're saying.
No, but I think what's notable with what you're talking about, Aleli, is you are not just complying with the law, right? Because the law requires you to do 40% this year of your plastic footprint to be recovered and processed. But the Mondelez has actually gone beyond compliance.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
That one, when the EPR got enacted into law in 2022, we said that, so they were only mandating our company to recover 20% of post-consumer plastic that we give into the environment, diba? So that's the only thing. But for us, we wanted to make a stand. We really wanted to make sure that we walk the talk.
Yeah.
That's why we're recovering 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like we can all say, I mean, I don't know if you've heard about the term plastic neutral. So whatever we put in the environment or whatever our consumers use in terms of plastic usage, we recover. And then with the help of PCX markets, and that's why we're here today, we are recycling, upcycling, recovering, collecting the post-consumer plastic packaging that we give to our consumers use.
Yeah, that's why I feel very proud of always sharing the stage with Mondelez, because they have gone beyond compliance from 40% to 100%. And not only that, you support projects that are collection, which has community impact, right? So I think companies have a lot of choices right now. First, hopefully they follow the law. Second, I hope that they will actually go beyond compliance. And I think right now, not all companies are following or complying, and that's something that PCX is trying to help the DNR with. But we would like to always talk about the companies like Mondelez who are really doing more than just complying with the law.
So thank you for that, and thank you for the partnership also, Rudy. Because without you guys, we aren't also able to look for other partners who can do upcycling and recycling for us. No, so we wanted to make a stand. We were able to look for partners, and now we want to move forward on this one. So I think. We also have something. So another step, okay, that we want to get into in the next month or something.
Yes,
no?
that's very exciting.
To take this partnership forward, and maybe you can share it with the others.
Yeah. So in PCX, as we try to support companies on their plastic sustainability journey, we have what we call a plastic cleanup partner program. These are for companies that are committing and pledging to do 100% of their plastic footprint, really focus it's not just even 1 year, for 3 years. And that's really outside of compliance, meaning they are doing it beyond what is necessary with the law. And we're happy to announce, and I think, Aleli, I'll give you the honor of announcing.
Okay, so we have just obtained the Plastic Cleanup Partner Seal from PCX Markets. And I'm very, very proud to announce this to everyone here, and of course, those who are online, and in my company. No? So we are yet to unveil it to them, because we wanted to make a big song and dance about it. But what it means to us is, as a company, we want to inform our consumers, number one, and inspire also other companies that you can make a stand.
Yeah.
And this one, I think for us, it means it means to us very much to be able to tell our consumers that what you're consuming, in fact, is not bad.
That's
number
true.
one, and number two, it's doing really good for the environment. And then number two, I think inspiring other companies, because we can have a lot of excuses, right? Because we cannot do this, we cannot account for this thing, it's expensive, I don't have budget and stuff, right? So these are some of the reasons why we cannot. And Mondelez was able to move ahead, remove the barriers, and say we can.
Yeah. And I think for us consumers, that means when you actually eat an Oreo cookie and dunk it in milk, you can feel that you are not putting the plastic waste into the environment, because Mondelez has committed to do collection and recovery for all of its plastic waste on a yearly basis. And I really feel this gives me a lot of energy, because companies are not just focused on the bottom line, but really thinking about its impact to its consumers and the planet.
And of course, I think this sends across a very strong message that we as a company can make a strong stance in helping the environment. And this is our way of helping the environment.
Yeah, so congratulations, and I'm really happy that Mondelez is a plastic cleanup partner. I think this is one of the first announcements being made in the Philippines and being done in the Manila Bulletin Sustainability Forum. Right, let's give them a big hand. Now I want to ask Aleli, what's next for Mondelez in terms of sustainability?
Yeah, of course. You know, we started with humble beginnings also in 2019, volunteerism. We collect 130 130 metric tons. We convert it into into seats and chairs and stuff. So I think we've made big strides already in this plastic sustainability pledge of us. We just concluded, in fact, in September, our Trash Right program. This is a Southeast Asia-wide program that was initiated by Mondelez, where we educate students, elementary students, on how they can participate and how they can contribute to saving the environment. So there was a marine litter 2-day workshop that we conducted in our home city of Parañaque, because of course, that's where we live.
Yeah.
We've been
The
there for
factory.
61 years.
Yes.
Okay, the factory in Sucat. And we've touched 27 schools already. We've been able to engage 27 schools doing the workshop, and then we collected 9 metric tons of trash through these students in their environment. And that one, of course, we're accounting for, and then we're also upcycling and
Yes.
recycling for them. And then the next one is that through your vehicles also in PCX markets, we've committed to execute or partner in 2 Aling Tindera
Yes.
programs, which we will be launching up to the end of this year,
Yes.
maybe next week,
Yeah.
November 29, that's next week.
In 2 weeks' time,
So in 2 weeks'
exactly.
time, so we're going to launch 2 Aling Tindera programs also in Parañaque. So we're giving back to our community as well, not just to the
Yeah.
environment. And maybe you can explain more.
Yes, so I think when you think about the waste management system, a lot of the hidden and invisible workers are really the community, right? The waste pickers, the collectors. And we have one NGO partner that's called Friends of Hope that have started the Aling Tindera program. These are community leaders, women, micro-entrepreneurs, mga sari-sari or store owners that actually manage a collection site. So whether they're in Parañaque, they're in Marilao, Bulacan, they're in Cebu, they collect plastic from their community, and then they pay actually their neighbors in collecting the plastic, and the NGO actually pays them, Friends of Hope. So it really becomes a an ecosystem. Para silang naging sustainability leader ng kanilang barangay. And I am really happy you talked about Mondelez launching 2 sites, right? So you are sponsoring 2 new sites, adding to the 138 sites of Aling Tindera. And you're able to also help mismo the Aling Tinderas in these areas. So I think that's one great way of giving back to the community, right? It's not just about doing recycling and collecting, but also supporting those that are enabling, like the waste pickers, the collectors in the community. And I think that's really something to be said. Maybe last point, Aleli, and before we go and open for question, as for you personally, like what is sustainability and plastic, proper plastic responsibility? Why did you as a you've been awarded one of the top awards as a women CEO, but you've started to become the champion of this. What is it for you personally?
If I look back, why this is very resonant with me as a leader, it's because I also started with some consciousness in the past. So maybe you guys have not graduated. I graduated many, many moons ago. Sustainability wasn't a thing, okay? It wasn't a buzzword. It wasn't something that I grew up with. But in the house, we'd clean up yung nabubulok at saka hindi nabubulok. We throw it and then left the basureros to collect, But for me, I think it's become a way of life. For Mondelez also, not just espousing our global strategy, but because we know that the environment is already calling for it. Okay, Mother Nature is in dire need of our help. And that's why for me, as a mother also, nurturing my family and nurturing my planet in the way I take care of my family is in fact the same DNA. It's part of your already personal advocacy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, and that's why it feels very authentic. It's very authentic also when I talk about plastic. It's also, I brought my water bottle there. I do not use water bottle, bottled water because I bring my water bottle. So it's something that in my bag, I have my anong tawag ito, bring your own bayong. Meron ako mga ganyan. So it's all part of that. And the most successful, I think, is when you talk about your own personal story. And that's why I'm talking about Mondalese's personal story on plastic commitment so that others may feel inspired.
Yeah, that was really inspiring. And I hope for all of you, especially the young ones, as you traverse your careers, I think first and foremost, think about the companies that you will join. Hopefully, they're not just after profitability, but also looking after total sustainability. But second, we all have our personal responsibility, right? Segregation, identification of companies to support that are sustainable, and also if you are in these fields of technology and science, we really hope that alternatives will be
help
developed.
us, no? Think about the technologies of tomorrow already and how to make our systems and infrastructure better.
So thank you very much, and we're super open for Q&A for anyone in the audience.
All right. So if nobody has a question, I can pose, if that's all right. Anyone in the audience? Okay. Then, if it's
Sure,
all right,
of course.
Ms. Romy, Ms. Arcelia, I'll go ahead and ask a few questions that we actually collected earlier. Internally, within Mondelez, how is it, or what has been the most effective way in actually getting support for the sustainability message, both upwards towards upper management, getting that support from there, and even getting, going down naman within the rank and file, the other members of the company to support sustainability. How has that experience been at your company?
It's not a hard sell, if I may say so, okay? Because there have been a lot of information maybe circulating around which you follow in terms of the impact of sustainability and what it's being required of companies already. But even before these regulations or ESG reporting has been mandated, volunteerism is very much palpable in our company. So if you say even during the pandemic, if you say bring your trash to the office, they will bring your trash to the office. So I think the personal commitment, okay, and then if you play it back to them and you communicate this is what happened to what you've done, is very much an instrument of commitment or circular commitment also that's ongoing within the company. And also I think when we develop products, for example, or when we look at new innovations, there is a column there that you take off in sustainability. It's part of the criteria that we need to meet. So it's been ingrained in the way we do things, in the ways of working, in the way we communicate. So those are the two things. It's really volunteerism, and then number two, putting the sustainability criteria, in things that we do.
But I would add, actually, I think you're being a bit modest. Mondelez Philippines, within the Mondelez world, is actually leading when it comes to plastic responsibility. They are recognized in Southeast Asia or even Asia Pacific as one of the entities that are really taking a lighthouse stance. So I think it's laudable. It's coming from the Philippines. I feel proud as a Filipino, but at the same time, it's not surprising. As you said, Mondelez Philippines has always had this volunteer mindset. Yeah, so I think that's something that to be proud
for
of.
recognizing that. So he alluded to it and said, it's really in Southeast Asia, we're the first one to really claim 100%. Okay, plastic recovery, and also in our Asia Pacific region, same way. But also, I think within the Philippines, there are only a few companies who can
Yes.
claim that as well. So
Very few.
so thank you for supporting us
Yes.
also, Rudy and
So
PCX.
you have to really support companies that are doing 100%. So look at the brands of Mondelez. Tang Eden, Oreo, Tiger. Like I feel
You'll
like
see it in our products, the seal,
The seal,
that you've awarded
exactly.
to us.
Soon, yeah.
Will be in our Tang packaging as well as in our Eden and
Yes.
Cheese Whiz packaging.
yes, yes.
All right, we have a lot to look forward to. Another round of applause, please, for our speakers. And I would ask you both to please stay on stage, because at this point, we would like to actually open up a panel Q&A. So we'd like to call on our previous guest speakers, Mr. George Inocencio, Ms. Rosemary Bosch-Ong, and of course we have already on stage Ms. Aleli Arcilia and Mr. Rudy Ramin. We would also like to call on Mr. Philip Conjing to join us here on stage. And we also would like to welcome on stage some members of the faculty from the University of the Philippines. So please allow me to introduce the Director for Programs and Partnerships of Sustainable Approaches to Financial, Economic, and Robust Growth Program from the UP Law Center Institute of Government and Law Reform, Mr. Arvin Perez. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us. And of course, the Associate Professor from the UP Manila Department of Social Sciences, Professor Chester Antonio Arcilia, joining us here. Here in the center, ma'am? Professor Arcilia. Okay. So I think to open up our panel, Mr. Perez, we were speaking earlier, so I think you have a few questions that you'd like to ask, so please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, first of all, good afternoon to everyone, the audience, and thank you for inviting me here and for the opportunity to be involved in this event. No? So just as a correction, I'm not actually a faculty, but I'm the sustainability person for the new program in UP called Safer Growth, which is Sustainable Approaches to Financial, Economic, and Robust Growth under the UP Law Center. But I'm also a sustainability consultant, but I have a background in investment banking and aviation. But due to my passion with sustainability, I decided to focus on sustainability. And I'm also a UP alumnus.
There we go.
Thank you for all the presentations, and I guess my first question is directed to everyone, to all the presenters. No, I'm just curious, what would be the skills or background that you would need from the incoming workforce in order to support and sustain your sustainability initiatives?
Maybe I'll start. So PCX Markets, we started as an NGO. We are now a for-profit that enables companies for plastic responsibility. What I've seen, the people that we take are very clearly those that are mission-driven, right? The heart is important because the kind of skill sets that are needed, either it's supply management, partnerships, business development, it's all across, right? So whatever your skill sets are, and I think I've seen the past speakers talk about how sustainability is now embedded in the company. So it doesn't have to be that you have specific sustainability expertise. As long as you have skill sets that will welcome you in the company, then as long as you have the passion to drive sustainability agendas, I think that will be amazing for all of us here. What do you think, Laureen?
Well, I will agree to that perspective, especially in ICTSI, we're very much diverse as well. And as I've said, there is no specific department that handles sustainability. It is indeed part of our day-to-day task. So whether you have skills, say, in legal, in public relation or comms, be it finance, be it, say, procurement, supply management, and all sorts. As long as you are passionate, dedicated, and hardworking, you're very collaborative. That's very important for ICTSI. We're a huge company, again, with presence in 19 countries, and so you should be willing to accept diverse culture as well. So inclusiveness is very much part of our values. Respect for all is one of the company's values. So especially for graduates of UP Diliman, I am also an alumna. And so I think you got it, guys. I know that in this university, really need to have the grit. Port area kami, so walang arte-arte dyan. Tondo, Manila po. So none of the glamour. But for me, it's that It's the passion, it's the drive. So it's again, maraming magagaling, maraming mahusay, maraming matalino. Kaunti ang may malasakit at talagang tunay na nauunawaan yung organisasyon nila. Yun yung kailangan sa ICTSI.
Yeah. For us in retail construction, no, very basic only, soft skills, no. I mean, this you don't need to teach them, no. I agree with the two, I echo with what you said, no. It's really more of having the heart. Di ba yung usong-uso ngayon, mga bagets? Yeah. Be mindful. You have be demure, okay? You have to be mindful of the things around you, no. So that's very important, and of course, I mean, like having a heart, having, that sense of inclusiveness and that sense of awareness, no? I guess that's very important. The rest will follow na lang eh. I mean, the hard skills that can be taught, no? But what's important is the value. So that's very important. I always say nga, kasi yung sa retail construction, sa retail, no, very basic naman ang requirement namin eh. And, it's been the practice of our company also to, to train managers or to get managers from the ranks, no, fresh from the farm. I myself, I grew from the ranks, no. So it's very important talaga if someone has, that soft skills of having a good heart, knowing the importance of, this sustainability regardless of what position you hold in the company or what position you aspire in the company.
From the government. Actually, same yung sagot ko. Talagang you really need the passion and the empathy and the willingness to sacrifice for the sake of the company. And in our case, kasi nga government or organization kami, to serve the country. Even if it means probably taking a little bit less than what the private sector offers, but dalawa eh. If you serve long enough in the government, as I mentioned earlier, you will be rewarded later on in life. And secondly, there's a psychic reward ka in serving your fellow countrymen beyond the profit motive. And in terms of yung skill set, varied talaga eh. Even us, we're a bank, so naturally yung mga I'm School of Economics, accounting, finance. Pero we have engineers, we have architects, yung forestry program. We have a program manager that is an engineer. So all skills. It's actually in your kung ano yung passion nyo, just follow it.
I'll just skew it towards manufacturing because they've already said the others no. But for manufacturing, in fact, there are specializations that we will probably require. So for example, if you're able to convert energy into something else, right? Or input kasi is what we look for in manufacturing, for example, how to run the plant more efficiently, how to make sure that electricity is working well and stuff like that. No? So there could be that could be one area. The other one is also understanding how materials work. So materials understanding, packaging, engineering, and maybe chemistry, I don't know. So it's more how materials work because, like I said earlier, we're putting innovations at the forefront of what we do to delight our consumers. So understanding of what they can actually need in the future is one skill set that we would potentially also be interested in.
Thank you very much. Professor Arcilia, is there anything that you'd like to ask?
Good afternoon po. I'm almost hesitant to intervene in the conversation because I've sort of come from a different experience. Let me explain that. I work with slums. I work with squatters, squat. So I work with a lot of informal labor, vendors, and squatting. So I was thinking about raising questions beyond, industry leaders here. I'm often used to giving housing rights trainings and how we struggle on the ground so that we prevent communities from being evicted and demolished and put to very far off places where people cannot live sustainably. Right? That's why they go back and build another slum and squat again. Right? So I was thinking about issuing sort of a question and a challenge to industry leaders in the sense that if you begin to talk about cities, and that's where we're going, a lot of urbanization, concentration of capital and profits and consumption, and therefore the concentration of waste management, the challenges of recycling and so on, we need to talk about sustainability and highlight equity because that's a foundational philosophy of sustainability that's often not discussed about. Often it's the environment and the economy. But the third pillar, equity, is not being talked about very much often. It has to do with a lot of things like Wilcon having, let's say, not so good sales in terms of selling to a bigger part of the market very good and sustainable materials simply because people can't afford it. They'd rather buy the cheap, low-quality products so that they can build their CR and so on. Same is true for packaging. Yung tinging culture, kailangan bumili ka maliit lang kasi wala ka namang pambili. So kailangan ng maraming packaging, so kailangan magtapon ka ng marami. No? So also an issue for financing is the lack of financing for socialized housing because people can't really amortize housing. Right? So I'm not sure whether I have a question, but sustainability discourses when I visit slums doesn't matter so much. To be frank, people don't talk about sustainability at the grassroots. They talk about surviving. How do we survive? So there's a challenge. If there's something I want to contribute, because I teach critical urban theory and stuff, is borrowing from the questions of the grassroots. What is sustainability for us, and what has the industry leaders, what can they contribute to community survival so that, pag merong sustainability issues, nababaha, maralita naman yan eh. Right? Ang unang evacuate mo kasi matigas ang ulo nila, yung nakatira sa sapa. Tapos kawawa sila kasi yung tigas ng ulo niya eh, kaya kayo. But those are sustainability issues, but they're from the perspective of the grassroots. And they're translated as survival issues. So probably my concrete questions would be, DBP talked about possibilities of financing for housing, but what does it look like for socialized housing? Now it's just Pag-ibig and SHAFC, but Pag-ibig requires formal work. Kailangan meron kang minimum income 10,000, but a lot of urban poor don't have that. Right? So for Wilcon and probably for packaging, how do you put equity there, and can alternative design, sustainable design, sustainable materials, can they go into socialized housing production? Because these are the things we need to talk about. These are majority of our urban citizens. These are majority of the people we really encounter on the ground. Sila yung yaya, katulong, jeepney driver, taxi driver. So probably, as a UP faculty, I need to raise that sort of really difficult question. Right? So we'd be happy to listen to what industry leaders would.
Okay, given that the flagship operations of ICTSI is in MICT, right smack in Tondo, Manila, Parola, every day I go to the office and I see informal settlers right and left. And we've been there for over 30 years. And what we do really is identify areas where we can help these local communities. I saw earlier Mondalese's sort of similar to our Eco Patrol. We know that health is very important, and so we empowered local community leaders to be able to assist in cleaning the informal settler area to at least mitigate the spread of diseases. For example, if there are concerns with livelihood, we empower them also on what livelihood embark on. For education, we also assist and provide scholarship program for the local community members. And most importantly, we provide jobs for the local communities where we have presence. And so the number one source of our equipment operators, and we train them well, are the local communities, those in the informal settlers. And mind you, they are operating multi-million-dollar equipment. And once they've trained in our terminal, they become so qualified to even go abroad and things like those, and be able to train other terminals all over the world. So look at this picture. A member of the local community being trained in a terminal, a global port operator. He's earning well, he has incentives, and then he goes to different countries training foreign equipment operator. And how much fulfillment that gives to a person, not only monetary, but also self-fulfillment, because you were trained. You were not college graduate, but you are able to provide so much for your family and for your local community. So for us in ICTSI, that's a very good question, because typically we are located where there are local communities. In fact, in Papua New Guinea, by law, we need to give 30% of the holding or the operating company to indigenous people, and we did that. And now, the dividends that they receive from these companies, they now have their own projects within their local communities. So it is, as I've mentioned, ripples of change being done. And I like your question, because this is something that is normally not asked, or perhaps this is quite specific also in our industry, because ports are located within those areas where local communities are also likewise located.
Yeah, thank you, Lyrene. No, your question, sir, is very, very relevant on the waste management industry. I think, as I've mentioned, there are, even just in the Philippines, more than 100,000 people that are connected, informal workers in the waste management industry. What we hope that the EPR law allows and enables is that they get the benefit of the requirements that we put on companies to do waste recovery and collection. So it is embedded in the EPR law of the Philippines to help the communities that are the informal workers, the collectors. Unfortunately, and I want to be very transparent and direct, in the in the implementing rules and regulations of the government, there is no specific incentive to any company that includes the informal sector. That is why we as PCX, we try to inspire, challenge, enable, cajole, influence companies to support programs that are supporting the informal workers. And fortunately, there are companies like Mondelez who does that. Mind you, the programs that are involving the community could be 2 to 3 times more than those that are focused on institutional collection and recovery. Right? That is the hard fact, because it's easier to work with, for example, a cement company that does waste to energy. They talk to a LGU who does collection. It really does not bypass the informal workers. And then the cost of 1 metric ton is going to be more expensive for if you involve the waste pickers that allow the waste pickers to have a decent living wage. Kasi some of the NGOs are really supporting the informal workers by providing them medical insurance, by providing them a living wage, even uniforms, or even as simple as safety equipment, right? So our goal as a company, of course, we support everyone to comply. That's the basic. But we need to encourage those to go beyond compliance, and hopefully, even the government allows for incentives or encouragement so that the informal workers will be taken care of. Globally, let me say, I attended a conference in Bangkok on the Sea of Solutions, and I was so happy to actually meet the first president of the Waste Collectors Association of the Philippines. They've just organized in February. So yung si ate was from Dumaguete. She was there were two people there. One was representing the junk shops of the Philippines, the small junk shops, and the other was waste collectors. And finally, they had a voice. Because I think the issue with informal workers normally is that they are not organized. So when we try to ask for feedback, it's very aggregated. It's not aggregated. So now, I think more and more, globally, even in the Philippines, the stakeholders are encouraging to have these informal workers organize a bit so that we understand what they need. And I think it's just the first few steps, honestly, right? We are not yet at the finish line, but it's good steps that hopefully companies, governments, other stakeholders will take so that we really can help those that are in the bottom of the pyramid to work and for these kinds of laws to work for them.
Actually, it's a very tough question for me, no? Kasi for me, personally, I think sustainability has no line eh. There's no distinction between rich and poor. For Wilcon specifically, no, it's a challenge. Yung question mo talagang challenge. Because as a business operator, we cannot change our business model, no, just to be able to adapt. But I guess how we contribute to nation building is something related to, you know, what you want for the country, no? Like as we expand, I mentioned we have 98 stores, no? And as we source more products for the construction, and as we set the standard of, you know, educating the market that this is the best product for you, sustainable products for your housing, no? I've mentioned about, you know, how much would it cost you to renovate, to replace, no? If you're going for low quality products, no? So as we build more stores, we employ more people. In fact, every time we go to a community, the municipality or the city that we serve are very happy because we employ more people. And mind you, in retail, we're not, you know, looking for high level, di ba? Most of them, like majority of our, you know, the rank and file, they're not even college graduates, but we provide employment to them. And it sustains, it stimulates the economy, especially in the, the community. And also, every time we offer or we source products for the construction industry, it stimulates the construction industry as well because you employ more workers, and with the product. So it's a circular thing. We're all part of the ecosystem, regardless of whether you're servicing the whatever niche of the market is, because as I mentioned, we're going to change our business model simply because we want to be, but there's no line between, when you talk about sustainability, there's no line between rich and poor. Everybody is like equal. Everybody has the right to the planet because we all have one planet to live, diba? On a personal note, ako naman, of course, being with Wilcon also, it gives me the opportunity, I have the resource, I have also the network, So on a personal note, I'm part of this women-based group, wherein our advocacy is that we help, women entrepreneurs, especially the marginalized, especially those who are, indigenous entrepreneurs. We help them. We provide them access to market. We provide them training. And it's very close to my heart, the weavers. We all know that the weavers, they're the most marginalized of the. We help them. We have programs for them. Weavers from Ilocos, weavers from Mindanao, and all of this. As you can see. So we hold trade fairs. We provide. We don't give them, dole outs or anything because we believe in the saying that, you teach them how to fish rather than give them fish. So what we do. We hold trade fairs, we give them access to market, we give them access to financial capital. We partnered with Union Bank for the fintech and all this. So to cut the story short, in my own little way, as as Wilcon, I mean, in my own little way, and also with Wilco, no, we help in the, like we have a lot of philanthropic acts, no. I don't want to, modesty aside, no. We have our fair share also in helping and being part of nation building as well.
Sige.
Yeah, it's 4:15, and I know a lot of these kids are already dying to go home. So before we close the session, and I want to welcome everybody again, including the professors and the people from UP who took part and who participated in the panel discussion now. And I thank you for that question, because it really helped make the discussion much more lively. No, but if there is, for the students at the age they are now, if there is one takeaway you'd want them to get from having attended this afternoon, can each of you sort of like impart to them a message that you feel that you would really like them to take home regarding sustainability? Liren?
Dito talaga nasa start dito sa side na to. No, but really, well, thank you, Manila Bulletin, for this opportunity. Such an exciting panelist as well. I am honored to be part of such distinguished speakers and academicians from the university that I truly, truly love. A takeaway and maybe just a tip lang to the youths of today is that, of course, you will be graduating soon. You will be receiving a lot of accolades. Just graduating from this university is honor enough, but that is just a start. It is how you use your talent, your skills, your heart, your passion towards a better goal. It's really, and I know you'll do it, get a lot of high-paying jobs, offers, and everything. But at the end of the day, what truly makes you happy? That's it. And if you feel that making this world a better place for the future generation is going to give you that happiness, then aspire for it. And you will forever feel happy, grateful, and most especially content. So that's all.
Yeah, sa mga scholar ng bayan, just follow your passion and serve the country the best way you can. It can be in the private sector, it can be in government as I did, but what is important is that you make sure that you're contributing to the economy, number one, and number two, to the movement of mankind as a whole, and save the only planet we have. Yeah.
Okay, we only have one mother. Please take care of them. Please take care of it, Mother Nature. So you can do many, many things, but make sure you choose where you have the most impact, because that's where you will have your commitment. So there.
I agree with what everything has been said, but maybe I'll look at one angle. You have the power of the purse, right? You spend, you are a consumer. So I think if you evaluate the products, the services that you choose, the brands that you follow, I think if you look at their sustainability, commitment, and activities, that would help a lot, because not everyone is doing the same. And you have the power to actually take a strong stance, right, by supporting the brands that are actually doing the planet right.
For me, two things lang, no. If we really want a better Philippines, be part of the solution and be mindful.
Now, probably students hear this often. Our task in the university is to ask difficult questions, but it's also to provide, hopefully, answers to those difficult questions through collective thinking. Right? So the task of making sustainability inclusive, not just for those who have money to buy the sustainable products and designs, is also to include those who cannot. Right? And that's part of our work.
Can I add one? Yeah. I guess what's important is what somebody mentioned here. Look at your impact. Impact to the environment, to society. And unfortunately, what's being discussed right now is the environment. But as the professor said, there's also a social component of sustainability. No? But with regards to environment, we really we don't really have time left. Unfortunately, our generation and the other older generation have ruined the environment for you. So we really don't have any time. So I suggest, just as a message, look at your impact and be aware of your carbon shadow. Everyone talks about the carbon footprint, but there's also the concept of your carbon shadow. It's basically how your lifestyle and your behavior relates to the carbon emissions in the world. So, kunwari, it's your choice of, let's say, transport. Will this increase carbon emission? It's your choice of buying certain things. Will this increase carbon emission? But again, that's just the focus right now because of the crisis in global warming. So, thank you.
Well, thank you very much to our speakers and, of course, our panelists from the Faculty of UP. If I could ask everyone please to stand and move forward just for a quick photo op. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and for giving us your time and your knowledge. We really, really appreciate it. All right, big smiles. And while I have everyone here, could I also please ask for a photo of our speakers together with the MB, the Manila Bulletin representatives, Mr. Jordan Tan, Ms. Irish Lorenzo, and Mr. Ray Ilagan to join them on stage. All right, just a little to your left. All right, there we go. One more. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you to our speakers and, of course, our faculty and, of course, to the members of Manila Bulletin for putting this all together. So, guys, that is our first day. But before I let you go, we have raffle winners again para exciting naman ang pag-uwi natin ngayong hapon. So, first of all, we have 20 winners of Toblerone. Oh, may pa-chocolate. Okay, so congratulations to Jerome, Alec, Cornejo, Trixie, Manalastas. Ayun, my fans. Reginette Borado, Maria Victoria Galaura, Alvi Marie Behar, Audrey Bianca Megan C, Caitlin C, Maria Angelica Beatrice Saban, Crizel Wu, Angel Joy Garay, Catherine Faith Bamba, June Faigones, Sofia Grace Isabel Liburao, sorry. Jose Benedicto Dasas, Margarita Aika Ilagan, Natalia Mayo, Kishel Jared Sodig, Adrian Joy Tulad, Alrich Sukmit, and AJ Reginbin. All right, so AJ Reginbin. So congratulations to our 20 winners of Toblerone. We also have 2 lucky winners of SM gift certificates worth 2,000 pesos. All right. So dalawa po ang winners natin. Congratulations to Thomas Ramon Cruz and Gian Mikael Balgan. All right. So, congratulations to all our winners. You can claim your prizes outside at the registration booth. And once again, thank you very much. That concludes our first day for the Manila Bulletin Sustainability Forum 2024. May natuto ba kayo? Will I see you tomorrow? Okay, there we have it. So once again, my name is Sam Thurman. We'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Please enjoy the rest of the day at mag-uwi kayo na mabuti. Get home safe. Thank you.